This month marks the 40th anniversary of the Fall of Saigon, the end of the Vietnam War. Thousands escaped to the United States to build new futures. As KPIX5's Kiet Do shows us, the Bay Area's Vietnamese community of today looks nothing like the first wave of refugees who first arrived here.
Oh, say, can you see?
Tu Hin Tran is about to be sworn in as one of America's newest citizens.
I'm so happy today.
She joins the tens of thousands of Vietnamese in the Bay Area whose stories began at the end of the Vietnam War 40 years ago. April 30th, 1975. The last American forces are pulling out. Their allies in the South Vietnamese Army know anyone left behind would face prison or death at the hands of the Viet Cong. Several thousand were lucky enough to get a ride on a helicopter or plane. Those iconic, desperate images now seared into memory. From the 1970s to the 90s, thousands of so-called boat people began a mass migration to the Golden State, drawn by its mild weather and high-skilled tech jobs that required little English. San Jose is now home to 160,000 Vietnamese, the largest population of any single city outside of Vietnam. They've worked their way up the corporate ladder in law, business, and politics. In 2005, Madison Nguyen became the first Vietnamese council member in San Jose and in Northern California.
Thank you, America!
And this year, voters did it again and elected Tam Nguyen. Vietnamese businesses in Little Saigon have exploded in numbers and revenue, operating niche stores like banh mi restaurants, fishing supply stores, and one that specializes in shipping baby formula to Vietnam.
Customers don't trust the baby formula there because they fear it might be counterfeit. So we buy it from Walmart or Costco and ship it overseas.
At Cafe Paloma, a popular hangout at Grand Century Mall, elders proudly wear camouflage uniforms and reminisce about the old days. At a Vietnamese flag-raising ceremony at City Hall, former military officers still hold out hope that the current government will be overthrown.
Why are you still angry after 40 years?
Because in Vietnam, no freedom.
No freedom.
No freedom.
San Jose State professor Kiet Do points out after 40 years, many Vietnamese have now spent the majority of their lives in America, and that now may be the time to shed the label of refugee.
I think it's really important for us to no longer think of ourselves simply as refugees, as being provided these opportunities, but now really claiming our space, claiming our voice, claiming our rights, claiming all of those things that historically immigrants have done.
They've carved out different paths, some with more success than others. Sung Nam came to the U.S. 10 years ago and now spends his days collecting bottles and cans on the streets of San Jose. But Dr. Vu Nguyen, who came in his mid-20s, studied hard, and now owns a pharmaceutical research company.
Some people, they try to learn the new language, but still so difficult for them. They try to get into it. You know, some people can get through, some people not.
And you were lucky enough?
I think I'm lucky one. I'm lucky one.
Lucky or not, they all share the common thread of leaving behind their home and identity.
So help me God.
Which brings us back to Tu Hin Tran. She says she's thrilled to be here.
Would you ever want to go back to Vietnam to live?
No, I don't want. I never.
Why?
Yeah, I don't like my country.
In San Jose, Kiet Do, KPIX5.
We have a lot more on the end of the war, the refugees, and the lives of Vietnamese Americans in the Bay Area coming up in our special, The Fall of Saigon, 40 years later. It airs this Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on KPIX5.